We're back on air, man. Golly, you're like so exasperated.
I know,
You're like so exasperated and shit. Like, fuck you. Okay.
Well, so
is there
we
a
consulted
question?
with a ton of players, teams, casters, etc., and there's no format that anyone can definitively say is better. So they actually talked to a lot of people who were saying that best of two.
Fix your cam. Fix your cam.
What's wrong with my cam?
You're like half on the screen.
It's not half on the screen. It's an artistic style where you represent.
Oh my god.
Listen, when I look at
He's like-
Zoom, okay, I see my whole.
just go like
okay,
this.
Here you go, man.
There
Are
you
you
go.
fucking? Are we good?
This is
Can I
receiving
do
right
just
here.
like this. Is
There
this
we
good? Am I centered?
Yes.
Okay,
That's much
prop
better.
myself up like this. And I get a
Fucking
giant
A.
fucking yardstick or meter stick, I guess. Put on my
I
fucking back.
need to buy him like this little little contraption
Well, like I have
that
like the
keeps
whole
him in the
window
same
on
fucking
Zoom, but you're
place.
like zoomed in on like 1/8 of it, and I have to keep my head. Look, I see a whole window on Zoom that I have to.
Yeah, look at our boxes on the overlay. I mean,
What?
Yeah.
I
look
see
at our
the
bags.
box
Does it
anyway.
look
I don't
like
wanna
that?
fucking watch
Does it
myself
fucking
too
look
tight.
like
I don't want to
that?
see myself more than I have to.
Oh
Okay, I
my
have the one
God.
screen over here, and
Okay.
that's 30 seconds behind, so I could be off screen for 30 whole seconds before I even realize that I've gone off screen. Where the fuck is the competitive integrity in that, ChanManV? Where's the production quality in that, ChanManV? Where I have to wait a half fucking
God.
minute
Look-
just
look-
to see
look
if
what
I'm
I- look
fucking
what I
off
fucking
screen
have to deal
because
with.
your
what
overlay
I
has
fucking
my
have to
camera
deal with.
zoomed in like it's a fucking Discovery Channel documentary on some fucking mic.
Fuck you.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Steven's right.
Okay, am I
Steven's
good?
right?
Can I talk about what I
Shut
normally
up,
wanted to talk
Richard.
about, or are we going to critique my placement on the camera some more?
All right.
know.
So
No.
where, is it a question from? Where's the question from?
My question was,
Your question.
yeah, am I not allowed to ask questions? I thought that I was a fucking co-host here. Did that change? Did I get demoted on the fucking break? And I didn't even realize it? Are you going full riot on me now that I've helped build this show? You're going to take it from me? And man,
Oh my
holy
God.
shit. You're
Wow.
out of control right now. Okay, so here's my
Wow.
question.
All right.
Okay? We've consulted with a ton of players, teams, and casters, and there's no format that anyone can definitively say is better. Does this mean that Riot is insinuating that they've contacted players and casters and teams and that they've all said that best of two is like an okay format? Is that actually true, do you think?
I mean,
They actually talked to them?
I'd love to weigh in and castigate them some more, but that is it probably is true actually. The one thing they do is they have constant dialogues with people. They do it not just for feedback to improve their product, because ultimately Riot will always do what Riot wants to do, regardless, unless there's a huge public outcry against it, in which case they'll try and make it look like they were going to do it that way all along. But what they also do it for is intelligence gathering, so they know what's going on, and they also do it to let you know, yes, we're watching. Yes, we're constantly watching you and everything you say. So they will have had talks with them. And to give you an example, there was a journalist who works at the Daily Dot, a young guy called Josh Raven, very good, very successful League of Legends journalist, and he was at Worlds, I think it was, just gone, and he tweeted something like, "I love not being able to get water in a press room" or something. So within 5 minutes, someone from Riot had come up to him and gone, here you go, Josh. If you ever need anything, just let us know. Here's some water. And then they set up like a little tea making area, like immediately, so you can get tea, coffee, and all of this. And they were like, just in future, just come to us, though. Yeah, don't go to Twitter. Don't go to social media. Don't go about it in public. And it was like it all just changed in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
So if they're gonna react over something that fucking trivial, like being able to get a cup of tea in a press room, then obviously they're going to do it about this fucking format, aren't they? So yeah, I believe they will have talked to everybody about it.
Okay, so I want to address something because I'm seeing a lot of people say things in chat, and I'm seeing a lot of people say things in the subreddit. Okay, so the argument that I'm seeing in favor of best of twos over best of threes is that a best of two rewards individual maps won, whereas a best of three only looks at the series. So there is a competitive approach to playing a best of series. When you start making if you're playing a best of three or a best of five or a best of seven, okay, it's the winner of the series walks away the unequivocal winner of the series, period. Doesn't matter if you won it 4-0 or 3-2 or 2-1 or 5-4 and a best of 9. That doesn't matter. All that matters is that you won the fucking series. Within a series, things can take place. You might cheese on game 2 or 3 after setting up a macro game on game 1. Maybe you'll play different styles and different maps. The way that you construct a series as a competitive player is a very real thing. You don't just go into every game. Game 6 of a best of 7 is not the same as game 1 or game 2.
No.
Game 3 of a best of 5, you know, if the score is 2-1, is not going to be the same for either player. Like, these are all things that go into the psychology of a best of. And, you know, you don't believe me, you can go ask any fucking competitive player. It's just pretty common sense, right? Like everybody knows this. Even when you're watching a series, you know that a player is playing differently if they're down 1-2 in a best of 5 than if it was 0-0 in a best of anything, right? So when you start coming up with these ideas that, well, a best of 2, that way if you go 1-1 or 2-1, you know, you get rewarded for winning a game, or not, well, not 2-1, but if you go 2-0, you know, you're rewarded, versus 1-1 or whatever, you're rewarded. Well, like, when you start making it about like individual map scores and sets, like at what point, like, does that stop? Like, let's say that you play a game and you crush, and the ending like kill is like you're like 15-1 in that game, right? If let's say that you win like 2 games where you 15 and won them in both games, and then you lose a game, and then you lose the next 3 games, but they only win like 10-9. Well, did you actually do better because the 2 games you won earlier were 15-0? So if you add all the kills, like, you see how like ridiculous that gets, right? When you start,
exactly. If you start breaking it down to like the minutiae,
that seems kind of silly that you would look in a best of series like, oh well, no, like the individual map should count instead of the whole series. Like, well, no. You're playing a fucking series. Like, you're playing a best of series, and the winner of that series should walk away the unequivocal winner of that series, period. It doesn't matter what the fuck the maps go with. Like, that, in my opinion, like, I guess when you look at a series, like, that's how it looks out to me. It seems really strange that you would be like, oh, well, the individual map should count for something, you know? Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, look, they've got to dig themselves out of the hole they're in. And that's all it's about. Because now, obviously, they're not going to come out and say, we just wanted to do an experiment and we wanted to give fucking EU
I'm addressing the people in chat that are like using that as an argument. And now I'm seeing people bring up like blue side versus purple side advantage. Does the same advantage exist in Dota? Is there like a top right versus bottom left advantage? Like,
I don't think there's an advantage in Dota. But then again, I don't know anything about Dota, but I've never heard anybody talk about it.
Well, because the Nasher dude is on the bottom.
I had a lovely conversation with Loda recently, and he didn't bring it up. So
I'm not. Maybe that's a side then, that like, if you have to change your entire format because blue side versus purple side is like so imbalanced. I don't know. Maybe that's. I'm not
there
sure.
is a.
Is the difference in Dota as big as the difference in League?
That's what everyone's saying.
I'm curious.
So,
well, chat's definitely saying there's a difference. So.
Yeah, but I want to know what the numbers are. Because in League, it got pretty significant. I thought in League it was like, when I played, I thought it was like 46-54 in favor of
wow, that's actually quite a bit.
Yeah. I think I could be wrong on that. I'll link numbers. If you guys have numbers, I'd be curious to see them. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd love to see that actually. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd always assumed, you know, the way everyone talks about Dota, that it would be the perfect balanced game.
Perfect MOBA.
Well. Calm down.
Calm down.
Dude, that's what you get fed,
man.
right?
Don't get fucking worked up. All right.
No. Hey, I got no issue with that, man. I can't think of
the
community. Holy shit, like.
Just kidding. All right, let's see. We got some other questions here. Okay, John Moses asks, can you guys talk about open circuit for League of Legends?
What?
Open circuit? Like, I mean, I don't have much to say about it. But
they mean having international tournaments rather than just the LCS All Stars.
Yeah. I mean,
so you're talking about having like non-riot sanctioned tournaments?
I guess.
Yeah, like what we've got for Counter-Strike. You know, where you have.
It's not going to happen. Is that what you want to talk about? I mean, it's not going to happen, at least anytime soon. So yeah. Not really worth spending too much time on.
I already talked about this just on First Blood today, so I'm a little bit fatigued on the topic.
Yeah.
But you know, my feelings are that the LCS broadcast, what they had in LCS, what they made in LCS, was exactly what esports needed, and every serious esports title should have something like that, a de facto league. Which occurs every week, regular time, regular games. That's what every esport needs to be legitimized. It's good for the fans, it's good for the orgs, it's good for the players. Everybody needs that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have other international tournaments. Maybe you limit them to keep them special so you don't get oversaturation. I'd respect that. But the idea of like having it completely, you know, it's an irrelevancy and then you take a concept like All Stars and you use the term All Stars, but it's got nothing to do with All Stars, and you turn it into a little mini watered down international tournament of its own, and then the only other thing you got to look forward to is Worlds, which is got it's got its own fundamental problems, and now it's going to have even more because people aren't even going to be playing the same fucking formats and having to learn a new format and go into Worlds to play a format they used to play. Like,
I mean,
I think having a couple of international tournaments peppered across the way, which are like you have qualifiers or they're invite only, or it's whatever you do would really augment things. And I will not count IEMs. I will not count them because Riot limits the amount of talent that can go there. They limit the amount of LCS teams that can attend. So you end up with these horrific stomps where it's like some wild card team from like, some continent that doesn't really have the infrastructure. They get to go there, get their travel paid, and they just get wrecked. And no one enjoys those games. It's a day out for them, but brilliant. It's in terms of a spectacle, it's fucking dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, open circuits during off season. You know what I mean? Like that's another thing we could talk about. It's just like, is LCS off season long enough right now? Or I don't know. I think it could be a little bit longer, but that just means even less broadcasting for them. So that doesn't, they can't. That's not good for them if they do that. So I don't see that happening either. But at the very least, in the off season, I feel like they should just allow for whoever.
You got this super long off season, right? Where the only thing we're talking about is which players are going where, who's going to become a free agent, who's going to re-sign, and then Riot fucking basically penalize anybody that has a leak. Right, like they put rules in place that if it can ever be proven that one of your staff members has leaked anything to the press, you're going to get fucked in the ass from now until the end of the term. They stifle independent journalism and reporting, when in actual fact, what we're doing is filling the dead time they will not allow to be filled with anything interesting because of the way they've fucking structured everything. Think about all the news that's happened in this off season. It's like we go into a new season, it's a completely different fucking landscape again. Like maybe put a tournament there. Like, I don't know, but certainly it just underlines the ridiculousness of it all. It does feel a little bit barren. Like if they want to really stifle into people reporting the roster leaks and roster moves and all that, give us something else to fucking talk about. That'd be the best way, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What do I know?
Okay, so next question. There's a StarCraft 2 question here. Actually, the last question was from John Moses. I'm not sure if I mentioned his name.
His name is actually John Moses?
Well, at least his Tumblr name is.
Oh, okay. So Tumblr name? We're taking questions on Tumblr now?
Well, the ChanManV
I'm triggered as fuck.
It's like a Tumblr thing. All right, so wanted to ask this question last time, but didn't get a chance to hope it's still relevant. So the DreamHack viewer numbers for StarCraft 2 were disappointing. Were they? I don't remember them being disappointing. This is weird because the game is new, fast-paced, should be more interesting, exciting. The top viewer number was 60K. Okay, 30K average.
When he says disappointing, he means that since Legacy of the Void is a new game, they wanted like
100K,
200,000 people.
Well, you wouldn't get 200, but 100K probably is what.
Well, apparently wouldn't get 100K, Chan-Man.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like BlizzCon didn't even get 200K. So I think throughout the tourney in HOTS we got more on a number of DreamHacks specifically. Yeah, TB's online tournament had just as much as he did in HOTS. So those things don't add up. Is this worrisome, or should we not care too much? I mean, does it matter, or is it foreshadowing so far that Legacy of the Void isn't attracting any attention, if anything less than Heart of the Swarm did? As a second question, are any of you guys attending the Home Story Cup?
StarCraft fans are more wealthy and educated than other fans. Didn't we establish that? So it's okay if there's less because we have more money to spend.
God. No, I mean, is it concerning? I don't think
like a really shitty thing to say, and it's impossible to even speculate. But I kind of wonder how. It's really weird. I don't know. I wish I had more experience. It seems superficially, at least, that streaming plays a role in promoting new games these days, right? New games, getting that Twitch coverage seems to be really nice. You can see I don't know if it's indicative of overall popularity of a game, but when a new game is released and it explodes on Twitch for a while, I don't know, that seems nice. I kind of wonder how much that release coinciding with Fallout 4 kind of dwarfed StarCraft 2's online presence, at least on Twitch. I wonder how many people didn't watch it because Fallout 4 was, you know, the big game at that point in time. I mean, they still sold a lot of copies for people that played the campaign, so it's really hard to say. But I still think that StarCraft 2 has a lot of, not only did StarCraft 2 have problems in Heart of the Swarm getting casual people to play it, like it still carried that baggage with it into Legacy of the Void. It's not like I'm sure there are a ton of people that played Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm that are never going to look at another StarCraft game just because it wasn't for them. Even if Legacy of the Void does offer new features like the co-op mode or whatever, or shared commanders, or the extended mission packs, anything like that, or the better arcade, like it's just going to be a matter of like one of those slowly like grinding it out over time. You're just going to have to hope that we slowly build a larger fan base than what we have now. Hopefully you build more fans than what bleed off, because yeah, there wasn't like a big explosion of interest as soon as the game came out.
I mean, it's a different environment, like almost 3 years later now. So 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, there was less competition even for StarCraft. I mean, the competition, you know, League was getting bigger, was getting big at that point, but CSGO wasn't. Right, Dota 2 was still like on their second international, I believe. So it wasn't like, you know, just these tournaments throughout the year or events throughout the year weren't happening yet. So right now it's just the most competitive it's ever been. So 60K honestly is not bad. That's not bad at all. I mean, we only got like about 110, 120, I believe, top viewership at BlizzCon, and that's going to be
BlizzCon. Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
Some people also complained that the time was really bad too. I'm seeing somebody say that, and I remember that. The time.
It's DreamHack, right? And I mean, they're trying to compare it to past DreamHacks, and I think for Heart of the Swarm, DreamHack did get up to 100K on the very first one. But then again, you know, they didn't have casters choking each other either. So I mean, that probably hurt a little bit too. The CS:GO drew a lot of attention that way. So 60K, it's good. 30K average is all right, and you know that DreamHack is an event that has competition and viewership. So TB's online tournament is going to only be StarCraft 2 people, so that's not going to change much. I wouldn't like look too far into that. But the fact that it's not growing, I mean, I guess maybe that's something. But I think a lot of people just, you know, realize or didn't expect it to like to grow really quickly, if anything, or grow at all. So not anything I don't think most people expected. Are any of you guys attending Home Story? I'm not, but I think Steven is though. That's.
I mean, if I'd known Steven was going, maybe I would have made some arrangements. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I've worked like so many fucking events this year. Like I had planned just to sit around like in the house all fucking December, like just doing nothing. Like, because I'm pretty sure like come January I'm going to be back on the road again. So, you know.
Yeah,
it's just,
a break
is just too much. Yeah, I just need a fucking break because burnout's fucking real, you know. I think I've been away something like
October, November was
31
brutal.
weekends this year or something.
Oh my god, that's
it's like it's just you know, not all with events, but with coverage and work, and you know, it's just been savage. Like it's been really fucking brutal. Like so yeah, I'm just looking forward to having just a month of just fucking tossing around the house, you know, smoking weed. And, you know, eating Christmas food.
All right, good deal. Steven, you're going, right?
I think so.
What do you mean you think so?
I don't know if it's been officially announced yet. I don't want to like take hype away from an announcement or something. Have they made any announcements about who's going? Isn't it like in a week or whatever?
They had to have made an announcement. This guy's asking about it, so. Yeah, it's in a week, right? I mean, we're just talking about it. Anyways, okay.
Oh, yeah, sure,
Steven's going, okay? Let's just say that. Steven's going. All right, next question from, let's see, Hunter Squid Anderson from Layton High School. Okay, so we got a youngin' here. What if people like Mark Cuban were to fund the teams and let them keep their branding and infrastructure so salaries and staff can increase? Would that make a difference in how Richard feels about them entering the market? Oh, this kind of plays into another question too, because they wouldn't be changing the scene as much as buying and rebranding teams and changing infrastructures. And then Massier has a similar question, but I think he watched First Blood because I think he went into it pretty deeply in First Blood and wanted to see what me and Steven thought about, you know, basically LCS slots being sold. But first off, Hunter's question about what if basically all these billionaires, as you know, like you were referring to in First Bloods, come in and they, you know, instead of just going and taking over the teams and putting in whatever branding, whatever staff, whatever players that they want in there, they just kept, you know, at least kept the staff and the branding and infrastructure. And, you know, if they want to do some player swaps, they can do that.
How can you dictate to an owner to do that, though? This is the problem with it. It's like, yeah, great. I mean, if you want them, if you want to just live in fucking, La La Land where everything's made of fucking rainbows and gumdrops, yeah, of course they do that. But unfortunately, these people are fucking millionaires, billionaires, or they're people who are funded by venture capitalists. They're all fucking hugely successful. And unfortunately, when we start talking about successful people, we start talking about people that, probably have elements of psychopathy, sociopathy, whatever it is, because that's what it takes. I mean, it's not a coincidence why, if you look at some of the professions where people are the most high functioning, the most successful professions, think doctors or successful businessmen or whatever, you have a higher degree of psychopaths. There has to be a detachment from empathic reasoning in order to be successful to that degree. Think Martin Shkreli, who owns a League of Legends team, and you're telling me you're going to say to someone like him, "Oh, could you just keep on these bumbling incompetents because in the interests of consistency, or even if they're not bumbling incompetents, would you keep these players on, even though they're not as good as the players you can now afford to buy?" Unless they're mandated to do that, they would never do that. So how would I feel about it? It's an irrelevancy. The point is, the only reason we had a debate about it in the first place was because we thought there was an injustice being perpetuated against the players that slog away on no salary in Challenger Series conditions, which are fucking appalling, to get to the promised land of LCS, earn a salary, get to play at the highest level of competition, maybe have a chance to get in the Worlds, maybe win some more money, and then that's being cruelly snatched away because an owner who has fucking profited from their labor then sells the product they've helped create for a cool $1 million and is out the fucking door, possibly to do it again with another Challenger Series team. Meanwhile, those players don't get a single penny and get fucked and slowly dropped out of the organization, loaned out to other people. This is what people were complaining about. And unfortunately, it's not going to be fucking millionaire and billionaire owners that fix that. There's got to be rules in place. Yeah. And if you buy a team, you have to retain, I don't know, say the coach for one split to protect the coach, or 3 of the players for at least one split. They must be on the books and they must play in a minimum of 4 or 5 games a season. Something like that. You've got to give these people an opportunity. You can't cut them out to dry ruthlessly. That was what people were upset about. The owners are never going to resolve that problem. All they care about is results and money.
Well, or even if are they receiving exit money, whenever they do get replaced, or
sometimes,
or they never.
Sometimes ain't no true competitor I know in any sport that if you gave them the option, play at the highest level, build your brand, maybe establish yourself as the best, or take a fucking paycheck to turn down the opportunity to do that. There's no true competitor that chooses option B. None. Not in the history of any sport ever, not in any of my sports coaching, not in any of my esports management or reporting have I ever come across anybody that would choose option B.
Well, we're not talking about choosing, right? We're talking about at least getting something out of this shitty situation. My thoughts on it is, yeah, it's absolutely shitty. It's really, terrible. And if there are rules in place to keep them, I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know if that's ideal. I mean, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, from the standpoint of organizers. But at the very least, I feel like they should receive exit compensation, considerable ones.
Because you get your exit compensation, but ultimately that's great. You've got some money.
It sucks too. It sucks too. I know, but
and then you're back to square one, knowing that you wasted a year for compensation that's going to be less than minimum wage, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
you wasted a year of your fucking life or X amount of time, and all you've got to show for it is money you could have made anyway. So it just seems, I don't think that's necessarily a satisfactory.
No, it's not either. But I'm just trying to think of any solutions. Whether it's temporary, at least some kind of bridge between this and then getting to a standpoint where we can get some rules.
I think what you need to do is you need to, like I say, I think a better option would be you have to retain X amount of talent. So you're still allowed to put your own individual stamp on the team. But you have to honor, it's a rule that you have to honor existing contracts. It's a rule that players that are squad bound and are on those contracts have to play X amount of games per season. almost like an enforced rotation. There's not going to be anything like this in mainstream sports, because the difference is in mainstream sports, the level of compensation you get for being a squad player, a bench player. You could be like the fucking third string kicker in an NFL team, and you're still going to be a multi-millionaire. He doesn't care if he never gets to kick a ball all season. Well, maybe he does, right? Fair enough. But certainly the compensation he's getting for not doing that and still turning up to training and still being a professional makes up for it. In esports, you don't get that. In fact, you don't get anything at all. You can't grow your brand. You're never going to be able to get to another team because no one knows your worth, because you never get a chance to prove it. So it becomes this cyclical problem. So we need to do something that's unique in esports to suit esports, because esports is unique. We can't just keep borrowing methods from mainstream sports and hoping that they fit. They're not necessarily going to do so.
Okay, let's see. Next question. Let's see another one here. Okay, Renee Moharich. He has a question about, let's see, what do you guys think about the Immortals Daily Dot incident that happened today? Will the R League of Legends mod at some point just ban the Daily Dot themselves entirely, since it looked like they literally took it down because it was from the Daily Dot? Oh, I didn't follow this at all. Like, what is this?
Yeah, it's okay. So let me bring up the thread. It's nowhere near as melodramatic as that.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the guy is really overselling what happened. And again, this is fucking Reddit and League of Legends and journalism. Like, hey, I want to go in, but let me just check that there isn't a fucking any more additions. As it stands, this is what happened. So the Immortals announcement was made, which is that Honey, Pobelter, and Wild Turtle are going to be officially on the roster. This was announced on the Daily Dot, and this was done in conjunction with Immortals. This wasn't a leak. This was Immortals working with the Daily Dot to do an announcement through the Daily Dot, much like Cloud9 did when I announced Incarnation was going to sign there. And Reddit mod said it wasn't relevant. People weren't allowed to read about it on Reddit, and deleted threads that linked to my work, then allowed a poor German translation of my work to be allowed to get all the traffic. So anyway, what happened was, for some reason, the Reddit mods, in their infinite wisdom, decided to remove it on the grounds that it was a repost. Now, it couldn't have been a repost.
I see.
It couldn't have been a repost because the announcement on the Immortals website was posted exactly 3 minutes after the Daily Dot one, because it was done officially in conjunction.
Right. Okay, so it wasn't that big a deal then.
No, it definitely is a big deal.
I mean,
it's just not a big deal in the way that this guy says.
Yeah, this guy's
the Reddit mods on that subreddit, as we know, have been attacking and eroding fucking journalism for a long time. We all know why they do it. It doesn't play to Reddit's interests. It doesn't play to that subreddit's interests. It definitely doesn't play to Riot's interests. And a lot of time, it doesn't play to the interests of the organizations that are being written about. But the one thing we can say, inarguably, is that over the past, God knows how long it's been, 18 months or whatever, and I played a part of it, just for full disclosure, the Daily Dot, their reporting when it comes to League of Legends roster swaps and indeed esports in general is almost unprecedented in our space. Now, thankfully, Breitbart has seen the light and has decided to hire me. They've got a contender. But the reality is they're a fantastic publication for esports, and the work they're doing is constantly under attack from the Reddit moderators. I have no idea why a Reddit moderator would take it upon themselves to remove a perfectly valid piece of journalism on the Daily Dot, one that's officially endorsed by the organization that it's about, that contained interviews and quotes that wasn't even in their official announcement, and why they would take that away from the community is beyond me. But of course, we all know the real reason while they're doing it, and that is because they want to get rid of independent reporting in League of Legends. As I said, it plays to the Reddit mod agenda, it plays to the Riot agenda. Reddit mods, let's not forget, these are people who we know sit in a private Skype chat with Riot employees every fucking day while moderating a supposedly independent subreddit. We know it is the largest traffic generating non-default subreddit on Reddit. We know Reddit and Riot have had talks about monetizing that unique factor. the idea of independent journalism is very scary to these people, because people might find out some of the shady shit that goes on, and we simply cannot have that. And the only people who are really doing the digging, apart from myself, is the Daily Dot. So obviously what we wanted, and the reason they tried this out, the reason they tested the water with this, is because recently there was 2 or 3 or maybe 4 threads all asking, hey, why don't we ban Daily Dot articles? And this happened because Jacob Wolf, who again the moderators have allowed to have witch hunts against repeatedly, that the moderators have turned a blind eye to, that he's been constantly abused, that even publications like Esports Express, with their relationship with Team Liquid, have piled on to create a very difficult environment for him, to make his life as miserable as possible for doing his job as a reporter. Well, several people are now accusing him of not using sources, but actually using Reddit as a source, because what would happen is people would say, oh, look, I think this player's joining this team. Jacob Wolf will go out, do the digging, confirm it for them, and they go, man, you're using Reddit as a source, which of course isn't what's happening. He's actually doing the due diligence. He's doing journalism. But because a few people got pissed off about this, the mods thought they'd try and test the water again. And what they've always wanted so very much is to ban the Daily Dot. In fact, when my ban went through, they actually banned the fucking Daily Dot temporarily. This was the guy called the Enigma Blade did this. And then he pretended it was an accident. Whoopsie, he pressed the wrong button. They're constantly going to push. And then one day they're hoping the community's not going to get in an uproar about it, not point it out. The Daily Dot's not going to crow about it. And they're going to be able to get away with it. That's what they're building towards. It's no coincidence. Why does this only happen to the Daily Dot? Why not all these other publications? Never heard it happen to the Score. How very interesting. How weird, right? Almost as if the Score admit they don't break stories because they don't want to, quote, rock the boat. So that's that, and of course the community just lap it up because they're fucking idiots. And I don't know why anybody would bother with League of Legends journalism right now. It's way more hassle than it's worth. I mean, and it's been proven, there's precedent to say that if you just ignore it and don't do it, you actually end up more successful. Look at William Turton, driven out by those same Reddit mods when they demand that he revealed a source, which of course was highly unethical for journalists to do. So he refused to do it. They removed an article and then endorsed a version of the organization he was writing about, which just happened to be MYM, the scruffiest, dirtiest, most corrupt organization League of Legends has ever seen. They endorsed their version, their lie, and when it was demonstrably proven that they'd lied, they didn't apologize. William Turton quit his fucking job as a League of Legends reporter, as an esports reporter over that. Now he's in the Forbes top 30 people under 18 list.
Right.
So, yeah, one of the most highly sought-after young journalists in America. And the League of Legends community drove him out because they let the moderators pull their strings. What a pack of fucking retards from start to finish.
All right. Let's see. I don't think we have any more questions here. Just a short list today, which is good. Everybody wants to call in, I guess, man. Don't get that, but good show. Oh, actually, we have one more. Let's see. A new one here. Steven, you have any more questions?
No, I'm good, Shinman. Thanks for asking them.
All right, I think that's going to be it. So why don't we wrap up here? Definitely great show, guys. And sold 10 t-shirts too. Good stuff.
Yeah, not bad.
Maybe we can get the last couple just to at least get half of our goal, which would be good. But some people have been asking about our original t-shirts. I'll probably make those available at some point too. I mean, a lot of you guys already have it, so I don't know how many more we'd actually get out to you guys, but I definitely have had like 10 people ask me about it. So maybe they just didn't like this t-shirt. We'll figure out some better designs. We've still got a lot of different ideas, but don't want to bombard you with t-shirts all the time. But thanks for the folks that have buying the t-shirts and help supporting. Did you two buy them yet?
No, yeah, I better be getting one for free, dude.
Dude, I don't even get one for free.
Fuck off, you don't.
I do.
I mean, you're sleeping on a pile of them right now.
You don't.
I didn't get any for free from my campus.
You don't, dude. You don't get them.
Holy shit.
It fucking sucks, dude. But if I were printing them out myself, I mean, obviously, man, I'd be giving them out like hotcakes.
Why you should be making these yourself? You have like 3 authentic Chinese laborers that your wife gave birth to. What the fuck are you doing? Outsourcing the work.
I don't have a storefront though. That's the problem, man.
You don't need a storefront.
It's like I got a physical storefront, but like nobody can order them from like my stand I have outside my house and shit. So yeah, that doesn't work, man. But anyways, guys, yeah, why don't we do some shout outs? Steven, you want to start off?
Hey, I love you guys very much. If you're buying shit, make sure to check out my Amazon affiliate link at destiny.gg/Amazon. And that's all I got for now. Also, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter.
What's your Twitter?
I need a better Twitter name. My Twitter is Stephen Bonnell, but it's not a good handle because you can't.
I thought you were still fighting for the Destiny. Weren't you offering money to the whole Destiny?
No, I never got in contact with her. I was gonna try to stalk her and then like break into the account and hack it.
Oh, you're doxing her and shit. Yeah, exactly, man. I thought you were doing that shit.
Work. I don't know what her security. I should go look it up. But anyway, yeah, there's my Twitter.
It's all right. Facebook endorses that now.
Do they?
Yeah, dude, I told you, read the story I just wrote on Breitbart, where a feminist group are naming and shaming men who insult them online, like, and writing to their employers and stuff. And even though it contradicts everything Facebook say in their fucking policy, in fact, it specifically says on their policy that any group dedicated to, like, naming, shaming, or harassing individuals, private individuals, and bringing stuff into the public light will be shut down. It goes against our community page. It's been all over the news that this feminist group is doing it, and Facebook haven't closed it down as of yet, and it's got like 1,200 members now. So
that's ridiculous. Wow.
Well, yeah, because this is the problem. Everyone's too scared to, obviously, because it's a fucking feminist group. Once you adopt that mantle, everyone gets really fucking nervous. Like, can I be against this? Am I being a misogynist if I follow the fucking rules for everybody? No, you're being an egalitarian, which is the whole fucking point. So read about that, dude. But yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want on Facebook now. Everything's fair game, apparently.
God. All right, Richard, you gonna do some shout-outs?
Yeah. Thanks, obviously, to Destiny. I love him. I feel he is the yin to my yang. Which is ironic, really, because that's the name of one of your kids, Chris.
What?
Edgy as fuck, that one.
Wow.
From nowhere.
So
fuck me. I just felt I had to get an edgy joke. I've been ranting about Riot.
Wow.
I'm really sorry. Really sorry. Like, I don't know where that came from. I got problems, obviously. But anyway, shout
Thorne was on this show all of a sudden. Shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Fuck, man. What's wrong with me? So anyway, I love you, man. You do a great fucking show, and you keep this band together, and we know it's hard work, and that's why you deserve all the money for the fucking t-shirts and the Patreon. I hope more people
trying to share with these fuckers, so they don't even.
Yeah, I don't want it, man. You deserve it, man. You put way more work into the fucking show than us. We just turn up and talk shit. So hopefully everyone realizes that. Like, maybe you don't endorse some of the things I do or some of the things Destiny does and has done, even though he's like new Destiny now and he's super professional. You know, but this is for Chris and Chris's family, who we all love very much. So please, this Christmas, maybe get an Unfiltered t-shirt, maybe donate to that Patreon. Obviously, just one final shout out, might surprise a few people, other than the viewers, of course, who are amazing. And I love all of them and all the people who support me on Twitter and everything else. But I want to give a big thank you to Riot. I really do. They are the gift that just keeps giving. They never fail to just deliver hilarious, delicious doses of fucking drama with their constant acts of stupidity. And I just love watching them mobilize all of the idiots that come out and try and explain and apologize for their stupidity. It gives me so much to talk about. It sustains me. I love watching them crash and burn as how this multi-million-dollar company owned by the Chinese equivalent of Google, one of the biggest fucking investments ever in the history of business, and they can't even get basic PR right. So thank you, Riot Games. You are beautiful. Yeah, done.
Wow. The Riot Bastion's extended to shout-outs now, too. It has no end, man. It has no end. My shout-outs, of course, to you two guys for doing the show. I always love hanging out and getting a chance to do these shows with you. Of course, the viewers for watching. And, again, we're going to have a holiday show next week. It's going to be we're going to take like a week, maybe a week and a half off after that, just to have a little break, just for the holidays. So the next show will be kind of the last one for this year, but you can expect a special one. It's going to be good stuff, probably a little, longer show too. So I'll try to figure out some giveaways too.
Can we not do an 8-hour show this year?
No, we're not doing 8 hours. I can't even do an 8-hour shows, but it's going to be longer than just like the normal shows. We'll do call-ins too. Yeah, we'll try to have some, just friends and whatever, just hop on. It'll be more impromptu and not like crazy professional like we've been doing lately. I don't know if it's been professional or not, but we haven't had just people throwing on the overlays and shit like we used to. But so we'll do something like that. Support the Patreon, guys. Patreon.com/ChanManV. And follow the show Twitter, because I've been trying to get the show Twitters going since, like, I don't know, everything kind of filtering through my Twitter's kind of weird at certain points, at least with like questions and stuff. So follow it. It's twitter.com/unfilteredprod, because there's no other better names to get. And then the VODs will be on youtube.com/ChanManV. Parts 1 and 2 are already up, so you can check those out if you are late to watching the show live. And audios will be up on iTunes tomorrow. It's always like an iTunes refresh that it has to show up tomorrow, so definitely check that out. It's hard to find because when you type in esports into iTunes, it's like all sports podcasts. It's like fucked up. And then whenever you type Unfiltered, there's like Unfiltered in all kinds of like titles. So
yeah, you want to be real careful.
Yeah, you'll type in Unfiltered and try to find it. You'll find it on the list. But if not, just watch my Twitter. I'll link it to you. But for those of you podcasts, yeah, definitely check that out. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to plug or say a shout out to. I think that's it. So folks, we'll see you next week for Destiny, Richard, and ChanManV. Peace.